Hello and welcome back. We will look at software as a service in this short lecture with the example of Office 365 and Salesforce. We took a look at IaaS, that's infrastructure as a service, about how that provides with the hosting kind of model that gives us the most control over the underlying of the servers and the storage. Then we had a look on platform as a service, which gave us the management of the operating system and middleware to Microsoft Azure, but we gave the control, we gained the control of the flexibility of ease of deployment and consuming of these Azure resources. In this lesson, we are going to take a look at software as a service, in a short SaaS, and we are going to see how it will take the management away from us and provides the easiest to consume model for all of these three. Well, we will look at the software as a service now. Some quick examples for the software as a service, providing the Office 365 or Salesforce. Let's take a look at the Office 365 in a minute, and particularly let's talk about the email functionality. If you wanted to implement an email system using infrastructure as a service model, then you might need to have to spin up a virtual machines and then installing the softwares like Microsoft Exchange Server and then plan it with the firewalls, and a lot of efforts are required. But when we gave it to these efforts to be eliminated, when we go for SaaS model, it's the readily available as the service for us. So it's quite exactly opposite side of that. We have a SaaS model, which that we don't have to be administrator or doing anything, managing anything like an Exchange server or other things, and that's exactly what Office 365 does here. We can sign up per user based within our organization for the email services, and we don't have to worry about what servers they are hosting in the background, and whether the upgradation of those servers, such things. All we have to do is just to consume the product and use that for the SaaS model. So when you try to use that or consume, so you have to log into Portal.Office 365. For example, I'm just talking about this application since I know it, and most of you might be already using Office 365. So we would just have to log into the Office 365 website, log in and check your emails and calendar tasks, and you can collaborate and consume that product without having to do anything to host it. Since it's quite opposite to the IaaS. And when we sign up for more emails for additional users, in addition, not to worry about any additional servers and configuration or runtime software, such things, because everything is managed in the background by Microsoft or the SaaS provider. So we have to just think about the subscription cost and just subscribe them and go ahead and use those applications. So it's easy, and so there's nothing, literally anything for us to manage within this model. We just have to consume these services, and consume is the key that we talked about for the SaaS as the keyword. And we just have to worry about consuming the softwares, and we pay for month for our services, Office 365 subscriptions, and we just use it anytime we want it, and we don't care about its hosting. And so it's very easy approach for certain things like email, but it doesn't really apply to every situation. So keep in mind that the software as a service is one of the least used there are out of this IaaS and PaaS. SaaS is the very least used model that we have looked into so far. And now let's take a look at some of pros and cons of the software as a service model. With the pros, there is no management, as we talked, whatever is so, and no administration is required, and we have to do which we can reduce our costs quite a bit, and that we don't need any dedicated staff to manage these servers. As with all of our cloud service types, there are no upfront cost, and we can pay as you go model, and there is no physical infrastructure for us to manage. Now, Software as a service in particular, we can give us a fast setup, probably faster than IaaS or PaaS, because it's ready-madely available, because there's no network for us to do in regards to setting up servers, resources, or building applications on top of platform. We simply consume that, and it's simply just immediately begin consuming the SaaS service, and because of that, anyone can use it. Like, think about, Facebook, it's readily available and we simply consume it, and any one of skill level can be used. Anyone's with any level of the skill can be used and configure these services, which might help us to reduce some staff cost even further. But there are some cons with the SaaS as well. The downside would be you don't have much customization when compared with IaaS or PaaS model. Let's say you wanted to set up some customization within your mail services. Since we have taken Office 365, let's say like you wanted that must be exist within your control, then you might have to end up with the IaaS model compared with the PaaS or SaaS. So not every product is suitable. At the end, the business will demand what kind of control you wanted on that specific product. But if you're compliance policies or your business demands that it must to be go for IaaS model or PaaS model or SaaS model. So keep in mind that we are evaluating software that happens to be SaaS. And finally, the vendor, in this case Office 365, is a Microsoft and Azure. They may have access to our customers' data, since they will be hosting the data within their data centers or within that SaaS model, because we're talking about not just the application, the data also will be with them. At the end, we have the client interface with us and the data is storing with them. Whereas the PaaS model, at least we have a little bit of control over the data and the application layer. So again, if you have certain compliance and the security needs that needs to go fulfill, and then one of them is the keeping all sensitive data on premises, you may want to consider not using SaaS model in that particular case. But as you can see, software as a service kind of extends IaaS and PaaS quite a bit by going into full on opposite of your own on-premises data center. With the SaaS, everything is managed by Microsoft and or Microsoft Azure, or really from the vendor that's providing the service. And in return, we don't have to do anything as far as managing services. We just have to consume the services. So stick around our next and final lessons on the comparison of each of these models and where the best suitable products will be in a suit, or what business demands. Based on that, I'm going to talk on that lecture. See you in that lecture. I hope this is useful for you. Thank you for watching this.